Whoa. So only $1,000 riding on this race. No big deal.
That's some stuff.
I will now hand it over to our illustrious runners in our couch. Good luck with the race.
All right.
All right, well, let's do the roll call, I guess. Spooty, you want to start?
Yeah, okay. Hi, I'm Spooty.
I'm Joe.
I'm Elad Difficult.
I'm Will Arseny.
I'm Kevin Regami, and I co-run Power Up Audio with the guy on the board right now, Jeff Tangsock, and we did sound for this game.
All right. Yeah. I'm Oblivion, 1. How many ones you want to add? It's 3 ones, but... And then this is Slackaholicus.
He's the guy who ran this game originally at the first time it showed up at a GDQ, so...
Yeah, that was before the new zone, so...
Oh, and can we get final confirmation on what the soundtrack is?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yep, one moment. I'm just going to refresh real quick. We are not going to close that yet. We'll leave it open through this run. But the current leader, surprisingly enough, is Vert with $1,530.
Now that's something to get hyped about.
Wow.
All right, and
All right.
yeah, to all you watching at home, it is going to be left open, and if the leader changes by the time we get to our bonus race, we will change soundtracks. So feel free to keep donating for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, before we start, we want to emphasize, because I think there was a little bit of confusion. It was mentioned earlier. It says seed in the description, but all that means is that Joe and I are going to be playing the same seed so that we get the same levels and it's a fair race. I need to emphasize, we have not seen this seed before, so it will be a blind run for us.
Yep.
It is going to let us, like, if one of us dies, though, when we restart from the beginning, it'll be the same levels, and we'll be able to catch back up really quickly.
Yeah, it ends up being a nice sort of rubber banding mechanic where if you do die, you kind of know where you're going, so you can make your way back a little faster.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
All right, so I think we're going to get this started. Do you guys know that you don't know what the seed is?
Yeah, I was told, like, one of you had something in mind.
We do.
All
The
right.
seed will be Sorry Danny.
There we go.
That's good.
Because as everyone knows, Danny is nowhere near the top of the soundtracks at all, and he made the music for the game.
And
Yeah,
yeah, he was really mad on Twitter about being dead last for a good portion of the donation war. It was, I'd hate to be mean, but it was pretty funny.
All right, so we can get this race underway. So let's do, maybe we should count this down appropriately. So, and a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, go. All right, so this is Crypt to the NecroDancer. Basically, the way this game works is you've only got 4 inputs, up, down, left, and right. The whole game is on a grid, and you basically move your way through a dungeon, trying to get through it, and try to get to the very bottom of the dungeon, which is where you find the NecroDancer. So the way you can kind of think of this game is it's a roguelike. So basically, they don't know what they're going to see. It's random. They're going to find random items, like Spooty picking up the Boots of Leaping there. And it is rhythm-based, so that is the way you can kind of think of that is like turn-based. So this game is kind of a turn-based game, but the turns are stuck to the beat. So every beat, they have to take a turn. And if they miss the beat, which is the standard question we get, the enemies will move... The enemies will take a beat first, so they will lose a beat to the enemies, and they basically get a free beat. Now, that isn't necessarily a bad thing, because sometimes you want the enemies to take a beat so that you can sort of let them come to you. Keeping the beat isn't super duper important in this mode, though in other modes it can be very important, like Aria, where you die, or Coda, which we saw last at AGDQ, where you die if you miss the beat.
All right, so here, Spooty entered in on the first boss fight we're going to see here, so that's also randomized, so it's going to be Deep Blues. Deep Blues is a chess-based boss, so the pieces are going to move like a chessboard would. However, the opening is completely random, so you have to adapt on the fly. There's a lot of fast strats for this boss, but one of the most common ones is to go up the 3rd lane there and then place a bomb, and it will kill Deep Blues. However, he has no bomb because he did bomb a shrine earlier to get the Boots of Leaping, which are a very fast item.
Right, and we did see Joe reset, so he is a little behind now, but he is going to be able to speed up a little bit. And also, we do allow for screen watching in most Condor races, so I anticipate we'll see that as well.
Okay, so what you want on every boss is to get what's called a flawless victory, where you win the fight without dropping any beats or taking any damage. And it's so you can get a better weapon off the base dagger, but there's a very, very, very low chance you'll get armor instead, and that's exactly what happened. Thankfully, I found a better weapon right there in that chest, although it's an obsidian whip, and whips are the worst weapon in the game. They have an extremely wide attack radius, so you'll constantly get hung up on enemies as you try to move. Yeah, one thing I'm not sure if it's explained, but all the controls are on arrows, and it's like, if your weapon can hit an enemy, it will do so. Otherwise, you'll move. So, with a whip, with as long of a wide as there's been an attack range as it has, it's pretty hard to move with a whip equipped. So, I'm not having fun with this. I hate it.
Yeah, clearly the ghost of Danny B is not pleased with this seed, I guess. So.
Oh, those shoes threw me off.
Yeah, heavy plate is one of the rarest items in that chest, I believe, especially at the first boss. So as the boss changes, every further boss has a different chest chance. So that particular boss, the chance of heavy plate there is very, very ungood. It kind of goes with some of the other items that are in there, that are, like the karate gi, which we might not see. Because it's a fun item, but we're probably not going to see it.
Yeah. So we got Spooty already on the second boss, so he's about halfway through this seed. There's 4 zones total. Each zone has 4 floors. The 4th floor is the boss floor. So yeah, this race goes fast. Typically in our Condor racing, we tend to have best of 3, but we're just doing a one-off here. And yeah, you can see Spooty's already into zone 3, which has this sort of hot-cold mechanic, where a lot of enemies leave little fire coals on the floor when they die that hurts you if you waste a beat on it. And there's also ice that you slip and slide on, and if you slip and slide, you have to let go of your controls to keep your beat. Otherwise, you lose the beat if you push. Now, we did get Spooty picking up a really strong weapon there. One of my favorites, actually, the Titanium Rapier. Basically, the way this game works in terms of weapons, as Spooty already sort of alluded to, is each weapon has a move set. So the Rapier does a lunge when there's an enemy, an extra space in front of you. If they're immediately in front of you, you just kind of hit them. And so he's going to be doing these lunges. Now, the lunges do double damage, and each weapon can also be a type. So in this case, he's got a titanium weapon, which means it does 2 damage. So it's 1 over the base. But on the lunge, because it does double damage, it's doing 4 on a lunge. So it's a really, really, really good weapon. Now, if he gets +1 damage, there's a lot of items that you can get +1 damage, you get this really critical 3/5 damage Rapier. So it does 3 damage up close, 5 damage at a distance. Most of the enemies are either 3 or a 5. Allows you to go super duper fast.
Yeah, something that wasn't mentioned was the Obsidian Whip they were holding for a long time. When they drop the beat, they actually lose the bonus damage on it, and it goes from 1 to 3 based on the multiplier. So the multiplier goes up from 1 to 2 with 1 kill, and then after, I believe it's 3 kills it goes... No, it's 5 kills it goes to 3 multiplier.
That's right. Yeah, so the Obsidian stuff's pretty good, but obviously whips, you get hung up on everything, so they're kind of, you want to ditch that as soon as possible. Now we actually have quite the race going on here, as Joe has now moved past, and he's in the lead. He's taking care of Coral Rift there. And yeah, Spooty finding a hilarious weapon, the rifle. For some reason, there's guns in this crypt. I don't know. I don't know who's loading this crypt up with weapons, but now there's a spooky ghost there. Because Joe killed the shopkeeper, I guess it would have been on 3-1. At 4-1, he gets the shopkeeper ghost. Now that guy packs a wallop, so you really got to be careful, because if he comes over there and hits you, that could really end your run. Even with that heavy plate, I think it would have been enough damage to kill him.
That apple was really good.
Yeah, a little health. So I didn't even get a chance really, because it's going so fast, to explain the zones. But basically, the first zone was like a cave. The second zone was sort of fungal, and that zone is based around sort of health. A lot of enemies have health. The third zone is, I did mention, the hot cold, and the fourth zone I kind of think of as more of a technical zone. So this zone has a lot of really interesting enemies. It's very hard to explain. Okay, we got a telemonkey there for Spooty. He takes another telemonkey, and he's okay. So each enemy does something very interesting. Sometimes they confuse you, which reverses your controls. Sometimes you teleport to where they are. The Blade Masters, you actually have to knock them back to make them vulnerable. So there's like a lot of really interesting mechanics here. And of course, bats, which is everybody's favorite enemy in this game, basically move randomly. That's one of the sort of few RNG elements to this game, besides obviously, you know, pickups and things like that. But yeah, bats are a thing.
Specifically, the black bats in Zone 4 here, they will guarantee attack the player if the player ends in a beat next to them. However, Spooty picked up the Lucky Charm, which is when you kill the Leprechaun, and he spawns after you kill a mini-boss with enough multiplier for a big enough pile of gold.
All right,
You can get this through other ways, too.
Joe is moving super fast here. He's got onto the final boss of the zones. Now, there is a final boss of the game, the NecroDancer, obviously. And he's making short work of that Dead Ringer. That was a great strat there. Basically, you have to honk all the bells, and then Dead Ringer's going to get aggroed and come after you, and you have to make him dive into the gong. So hopefully we'll see that here from Spooty. He's in a bit of a spooky situation, but he does make it to Dead Ringer. So you can watch as he goes for Dead Ringer as well.
I'm going to use a glitch right here with the shield. So this song is kind of unique. This fight's kind of unique, rather. And that it has 2 songs. So on the transition, it kind of resets the way it counts how long your spell has lasted. So it kind of like lasts the whole fight because it's a little bugged out.
Yeah, it
So that's
basically
pretty cool.
increases the timer on the shield spell to make it super duper long, which makes it really safe and you can really push. Now this fight, it's sort of a blink of an eye, it's going to be done. It's actually, this is super duper close as Joe does kill the NecroDancer, but Spooty is right behind him. So nicely done, Joe. A very good time of 6:35 in-game. I'm not sure about the
That
RTA.
was a really fast catch-up by Joe.
That was an
It was
awesome
crazy.
scene.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately-
Spooty's going to finish here. And to celebrate the race, we're going to get a Freddy Merchantry. 3, 2, 1, go. So these plushies are just the best thing ever. But anyway, congratulations, mudjoe, on the win.
Yeah.
And that was great. So
That was a great race.
how'd you guys feel about that race?
I got kind of lost in Zone 3, and it's also it's a little bit different, like from practice when we're having to listen to like when we have commentary going on too. I dropped a few beats in some pretty bad
that and
places.
the interesting thing is we've never had races before where you could like screen peek without this, with very little latency compared
Yeah,
to what we
real-time
normally do.
screen peeking is pretty huge in this game.
Yeah, I was wondering how that was going to play in because, yeah, you can literally...
Like, I was pretty sure Spooty was going to win, and then he missed the 3-3 trapdoor that I found.
Oh,
And
there you
that was
go.
like a big turning point, I think.
Yeah, we actually
Yeah.
didn't explain trapdoors. So in the first 3 zones, there's a trap that you fall down to the next level. However, the mini-boss comes with you on that floor and certain enemies, and you fight that, and then you can continue on the level. So it's usually faster to take the trapdoor.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be a little spooky if you're first starting out playing casually to take trapdoors, but once you learn them, or if you have a bit of a build, like, you know, a heavy plate, then you'll be able to take some
Okay.
damage.
As much as I'd, love to keep chit chatting, we did kind of start kind of late, so we should probably get the bonus race over, started. So can we get a final confirmation on the character that we're running?
Yep, we are refreshing that right now. We did just close them as you guys finished the race. And just FYI, your guys' times, mudjoe real time finished at 8 minutes and 2 seconds. And SpootyBiscuit finished 8 minutes and 14 seconds.
Dang, that's close.
Yeah, it's pretty
that's
close.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Not surprisingly, a close race. These two are like some of the best racers we have. There is a lot of racers who race NecroDancer, but mudjoe won one of our seasons, and Spooty just wins everything all the time, and of course did the epic Coda run last year. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, do you have who the character is? Uh-oh. I think it's bold.
Well, I have a couple things there. So I do have the character choice, and the character choice appears to be Dorian.
All right.
I like that.
$4. He won by $6 over Bull.
No way.
No way.
Now for the soundtrack choice, I have a little bit of an upset here for you.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Although I can think of one person who might not be upset with... Well, let's start with this donation. We have a donation from Henry H. that says, great event, love the original NecroDancer soundtrack, so let's use that next.
No way.
In the amount of $2,500.
Yeah.
Free Danny! Using the Danny B soundtrack.
Next seat's free.
So thank you very much for that insanely generous donation.
So I guess for your guys' next seed is going to be Free Danny.
Free Danny.
Free Danny.
Next seed. That's amazing. Wow. All right, so Dorian, we should get started right away on how this character works. So yeah, pop in the seed, we'll count it down. But basically the way this character works is he's got the permanent frog socks, which we did
Were
see.
you playing or?
No, that's good.
Okay.
I'm too tired.
Okay.
It's been a long
Won't
day.
be a good
so-
idea.
Late run, yeah.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. We were originally gonna let our third runner maybe swap in for the bonus race, but he seems a little tuckered out. So I guess I'll
I'm
take
too
this one
comfy
too.
right now.
Yeah, so Dorian basically, he has the frog socks like we saw last time where you jump, but they're permanently on, and if you lose them, or if you turn them off, you take damage for every step you take. Free Danny is the seed.
Okay, free Danny.
They were actually
Free
using
Danny.
leaping throughout most of the last run, so it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
not much of a
like that.
difference.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. See, the thing is, like, we turned them off. That you can toggle them on and off for
Yeah.
normally, and we did that a lot to for safety, because it's pretty dangerous if you're not careful to jump right into a faraway enemy. But with Dorian, we're not going to have much of a choice in terms of keeping them enabled, because whenever we move with them disabled, we'll be taking damage.
Yeah, we
So-
will toggle them off sometimes for some interesting exits. And
Right.
also, Dorian is really tanky with some armor, and he'll get a compass, which gives us partial mapping.
Yeah, and he's got a Ring of Might, so he's a pretty strong character.
Yeah, he's pretty tanked up.
And also worth noting is that he doesn't get the NecroDancer fight, so that saves a lot of time. So if you thought the cadence race was fast, this, provided we don't take any dunks and
Yeah, which
get
is really
killed,
easy on Dorian. By the
This
way.
run
Yeah.
is going to be a lot faster
Yeah.
than what you just saw.
So
Yeah.
don't blink. This one's
Okay.
pretty quick. All right, you ready?
All right,
So-
let's give us a countdown, everyone.
Here we go.
5,
4, 3, 2, 1, go! Woo! All right, so right away we're dropping down a trapdoor. So this is already quick. Now you can do some pretty fast strats because you start with a compass, so you know where the exit's going to be. The compass provides you with a blue arrow on the screen, so you can see that on both of our racers stream there. And yeah, basically you just go like double speed because you're leaping around like crazy, and then also because you start with a pickaxe, if you take a trapdoor, you can actually just dig out. You don't even need to kill the mini boss. Because what happens is you get these sort of level 2 walls that sort of cover the arena.
Iframes.
But of course, with the pickaxe, you can just dig right through. Now we've got Joe and Spooty right behind Joe flying through. So Joe's got a bit of a lead here as he's fighting Deep Blues again. Now I do want to point out that the boss order is random, but we did happen to get Deep Blues both times. So
Something to do with Danny B.
something to do with Danny B. Absolutely.
So something that Joe mentioned for a short period, when he dropped down that trap door, he actually ate his apple when the Minotaur was on the beat to hit him next. So when that happens, you're actually invulnerable for the entire beat and a little bit of the next beat. In certain situations, you can exploit that even further. So
All
he
right.
wouldn't take any damage at all.
So this is going to be a good time. Basically, picked up a glass sword. So glass is sort of the glass cannon thing.
Oh my god.
Oh wow, we
This
got
fight-
a thing going on here for.
No.
This fight went way off the rails. I was trying to get trap him to bomb him, but it's like in chess. If the pawns reach the other side, they promote to queens, and queens can move any direction. So
I'll just throw out there that this lead with the glass is definitely not stable. Like, Spooty could definitely come back from this. It's really easy to make mistakes on
Yeah.
Dorian with glass.
Yeah, a glass weapon will break when you're hit, and the shard drops, so you don't have a weapon until you pick that back up, so you have to get off your space and back on it, and a lot of situations with Dorian lead you unable to get back to that shard.
That's right. It can be so.
And it can
spooky.
be blown up by enemies and your own bombs.
Speaking
that's
of
not
which,
good.
that commentator curse.
Always happens.
I'm actually pretty happy about that, honestly. Like,
Yeah, going to zone 3 with a glass weapon is very dangerous on Dorian.
I also want to give a quick shout out to Kevin for the voice of death metal there, which is the boss we just saw. So
Thank you very much.
no problem.
Maybe if you're feeling up to it.
If you're
you can,
feeling up to it, maybe.
yeah.
But I know you've had a long day of working the
I
sound.
don't know. What do you want, man?
I don't know, maybe a bathe in fire? Can
Yeah,
you
I think we
hear
should bathe in fire real quick.
Or
that's
Welcome to Summer Games Done Quick!
Nice.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Yeah, you can make them say whatever you want. It's pretty great.
only for a while, though my throat just falls apart after a while. Yeah.
All right, so a nice pickup. Interestingly, both of our racers now have broadswords. Now, the broadsword attacks all 3 of the squares in front of the direction you pushed. So we've got a titanium broadsword for Spooty and a blood broadsword for Mudjoe. Now, the titanium's the 2 damage, like I explained before, and the blood is basically after 10 kills, you get half a heart heal, which can be really good. I like the blood weapons personally on Dorian because you've got the ring, so you're doing +1 damage already, so it's 2 damage. And then you get the heal up, so you can basically keep tanking through things because you're going to get your health up anyways.
oh wow, we're like dead even.
Yeah, this is so close right now. Unsurprisingly, again, this is amazing.
that's going to cost me a lot of time.
So now we're seeing those beats wasted there. Spooty was waiting for things to happen. That's very common, especially with Dorian, who it's hard to get things on
Yeah.
beat there. So Spooty gets to Korif. Is this the same boss order?
I
Yeah, same boss order.
It's a different
Has the
seed.
cadence around.
No, it's a different seed, but it seems to be the same boss
Pretty
order.
crazy.
Oh, I
It
see.
is different every run, typically, but it's very rare to actually get all three.
Something to do with Danny.
Something to do with Danny. Now, you may have noticed that they're doing this sort of, I guess you can call it a trick, where basically when it's time to get onto the stairs, they turn off their frog socks, and that allows them to move one step. Now, a fun thing to note, if you're just starting out with this game, is that you take none of the damage that you're getting when you jump onto the stairs. You're basically invincible. So he doesn't take the frog socks damage, or if there's a bunch of enemies attacking you at the same time, you won't take that damage either. So it's kind of... Man, I'm seeing a lot more screen peeking now. I gotta admit.
And another thing about the stairs is when you get on them, there is a beat where you can act. So what they're doing here is they're toggling the socks off to actually jump on the stairs and then toggling them back with that extra beat so they have it prepped up for the next floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to start walking with the boots because you're going to start taking
It's a
damage.
minor exploit in the
Okay,
beat
then we're
mechanics of the game.
Now, one mechanic that everybody loves is this goo. So basically these things that are golems, but who make goo, so we call them Glulams, of course. This game is full of puns, by the way. So we heard some moaning from puns from donations and stuff, but everybody in the NecroDancer community loves the puns, and so we got the Glulams, and basically when you hit them, they create this goo tile that shrinks you, and of course then you can't attack, you take double damage, you can't dig. There's a whole bunch of terrible things that happen, so yeah, it's a great mechanic.
Really brutal exit room.
Thanks, Ryan.
4-2 here for Joe.
Okay, and I'm on my last boss.
Yep, so this is Conga 4, very complicated boss here because there's a lot of enemies. You don't really see it because he's wearing sunglasses, which sort of shade all of the enemies.
I also did a little bit exploit.
Oh,
time,
very
time.
nice, very nice. Yeah, that was time. Very nice.
So there's the thing with Conga. Basically, until you either kill the Conga lines or destroy his throne, he's invincible. If he comes off the throne, which you can get him to come off the throne by missing a beat. If you hit him, he'll just teleport back to the throne and take no damage. But the way bombs work, they process their targets from top left to bottom right. And so if you get him off the throne to the right side and place a bomb such that the throne's in the top left corner, the throne will get destroyed, removing his invulnerability like immediately before the bomb hits him, and that'll instantly do 4 damage to him. Unfortunately, Conga 4 is 5 HP, so that does mean I still have to hit him again. Earlier Conga variants, it'll kill him instantly, but it did mean I could save a hit. I only had to hit him once, which saved him time. And here comes Joe with the finish.
Nice. Yeah, that was a nice run there.
Yeah, that
Very good.
4-2 really made mudjoe slow down way too much.
Yeah, that was awesome though. Great race, guys. Very good.
And yeah, I just wanted to, if I can give a quick few plugs here. Elad Rek here on the couch with us is very frequently a host of something that we call Condor Racing. It stands for Crypt and NecroDancer Online Racing. We have regular tournaments all the time, very frequently with cash prizes donated by the game's creator himself, Ryan Clark. I want to express my endless gratitude for Ryan Clark. I have never, in all my time gaming, had a developer who works so closely with his community. Like, he's constantly taking feedback from us on, like balance changes and all that. And yes, I mean, funding our racing tournament out of his own pocket. So yeah, huge ups to Ryan Clark for everything he's done for this game.
Too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was not on site, but rather doing dev commentary. But of course, it's quite late, and he has a stressful enough life as it is. So,
Even later than it was
he
going
got
up
me
to.
instead.
So we got Kevin instead.
But yeah, we have a huge racing community, and we're always looking for for fresh blood, so to speak. And believe me, for the newcomer tournaments, it very frequently is a pretty big bloodbath.
It's a bloodbath, yeah. So we do have a lot of resources online. There's ways in which you can learn all the different strats on how to do mapping and all the fun stuff like that. So it's super accessible. So if you're interested, just reach out to the community. You can find us on the internet. It's pretty easy to find, just NecroDancer communities and things like that. So yeah, and with that, I do want to give a big shout out to everybody who stayed up to come watch. And I was actually going to, because of my gratitude, I'm going to go give this Freddie Merchant tree to somebody in the audience because they're rare, but they're amazing. So I'm going to go do that, and you guys can wrap it up here.
And
so
yeah, just.
And for what it's worth, I mean, conversely, I know Spooty is talking about his thanks for the dev team and such, and Ryan Clark specifically. But I want to be very clear that, I mean, we first showed this game at PAX Prime years back, and Ryan and myself and the rest of the team were there at the booth, and he's saying, well, here's the dance pad, guys. I mean, I have no idea if anyone will like this game, if it's going to go well or not, if people will just look at this thing and say, oh, I'll pass and keep walking. So hope you brought your sweatbands and like put them on, get dancing all day. And turns out we got this huge community, and it means a great deal to us. And I'm sure Ryan said the same thing if he was here. So thanks a lot.
Yeah. So thanks very much, guys. It was a pleasure to be here. And yeah, I guess we're moving on to the next race.
I just want to give a quick shout out to like everyone on the NecroDancer Discord that does like theory crafting all the time, sets up events, has funny ideas like new events, stuff like that. I don't think either of us would be here today if it wasn't for most of the people on that server.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So thanks very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed.